All right, before we will build your first campaign or your flow email, we need to create a master template. This is a template that will be used as a backbone for every other email that you will be building. We need to build it in order to stay consistent with your style throughout your email marketing strategy and to stay consistent with your brand. We're going to go to templates section under content and we're going to create a template. There is a bunch of different options that Klaviyo is offering you here, but I would suggest to keep this for later and explore this a bit later. And right now we will actually use just the basic template. Let's select one. This is Klaviyo's new editor. There used to be a different editor that's called Classic Editor, but right now it seems like everything is moving towards this new one. That's why it's better to get used to this one. What you will see here is that you have different sections with images, with text, you have columns, different blocks that you can just drag and drop in different places of the emails, and you have different layouts here as well. You can preview the email on desktop and mobile and change the configuration accordingly so that you actually optimize for mobile as well. Before we get into actually adding our images and text here, we want to update the styling. This is to make sure that we stay consistent with styling in every email that we have. We will scroll all the way back to text and headings, and we will add some of our website's fonts here. If you're not sure which fonts your website is using, you will go to your theme settings. You can see colors here, typography as well. We need fonts, obviously. You can see that for headings, we're using Quicksand Bold here. For body text, we're using Roboto. What we're going to do is for normal, we're going to find that Roboto normal here. For heading, we'll choose Quicksand Bold and Quicksand Bold. In case if you don't have the option here with your font, you can actually add a font. So you will simply search for the fonts that you need here. So let's say if it was Quicksand. And then you will take the variations that you need. You have bold, semi-bold, you can select whatever you need. And you need to also select a fallback font. So on some devices, your custom font won't be readable. So you need some kind of fallback font. Just pick the closest one to yours. We got those all updated. If this did not get updated automatically, add the text color to your emails as well. If you go to colors here, you will see the body text, headings, so you can copy that as well. So let's say we'll take headings and we will update our headings. But we will keep the normal text with that body text color. Okay, great. You can also update the links color here. This is actually the color of my Shopify theme, exactly what I'm gonna stick with. And then we also need to optimize those fonts on mobile. So if you go to mobile, you can see that this is a little too big. So what we're gonna do is we're going to, okay, there is no heading 1 here, but like let's look at heading 2 and we can actually go down to 28. With heading 3, we can go down to 20. To 26, and then this would be 30. Same with the normal text. We can definitely decrease the size a bit. Let's make it 12. Okay, perfect. We can actually now start building the template. The first thing that we're going to add is we're going to add a new section to create our header. Find header link bar and drop it right on top of your new section. Upload your logo. And now we need to configure this. The maximum width should be 120 pixels. There we go. Now we need to add text. So there's going to be Wealthy Tales logo. And then add your store link. Make sure to link everything you have in your email. All of the images, all of the links, obviously, and CTA buttons. So we're going to make this inline and actually we'll move this here. And The way you want our logo to look like is consistent with your website once again. So, for example, here I have it on the left side. So this is what I'm gonna do. If you have any links here as well, you need to add them in your email. So what you will do is you will scroll down to content, add link, for example, new arrivals. You will link it. You will add another one, collections. You will link that specific page. And let's say about us. And then link again to that about us page. Nothing is here yet just because we need to change the color. The color will be our body text. The font would be Roboto normal, so whatever your body text is. And there we go. This is ready. If it looks funny in any way, you can create manual spacing here, right? You can just choose whatever you want to do. I'll just keep it as it was, just because it looks good. But we need to make sure to preview everything on mobile. So let's see if this header is looking good on mobile. Definitely looking funny. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna scroll down. Just below the desktop layout, we have mobile layout. We're gonna do inline again. But still, this looks a little weird because it doesn't actually fit here. So what we can do is we can only show two of those links on mobile and not the third one. So what we will do, we can just get rid of the about us on mobile. You can see there is show on desktop only. This way it's not gonna show you on mobile. This is perfect. Our header link is ready. Okay, the next thing that we're gonna do, we will add the image here. So we will select something that we have. Let's take this dog wearing spring jacket, alt text, link address. We then can edit the text here a bit. For example, I want this text to be aligned to the middle. I also want some padding on the left and right. Right, you can see that now it's more close to the middle. This is up to you how you want to style this. Let's just try this and see how it looks. And then we're gonna add a button. Just drag and drop. And then again, we want to style this button the same way as we have on the website. I actually have two types of buttons here. So this is what we're gonna do for our template. Remember, this is not really what we're gonna send to anybody. This is just for us to have a backbone for all of the other emails that we will be building. The button here is all capitals and the corners are sharp. So this is what we're gonna do here as well. URL, as always, we're gonna keep the capital letters. The color is great. We're gonna remove the corner radius. We'll add some more padding on the left and right so that the button looks a bit longer, like it does on the website. We're gonna select our font here. The color will stay as is. We can add some spacing for letters here if needed. We'll make it a bit smaller. Perfect. Button number 1 is ready. We're just gonna create another one just so we can use it later on. The other button looks a bit different with white background, so we will do the same. The color would be just white, no corner radius, some more padding here. Text would be in our pink, and we need to add a border, and the border would be the same color that we have here. Yeah, and then it looks like we need to add some more padding here. There we go. And a link. Great, so you have another button that you can use in all your other emails. All right, this is not an email that we are necessarily going to be sending to somebody. This is just to have a skeleton that we can work with later on, to have the blocks that we can reuse in all of the other emails. We will actually remove this. I don't really like this section much. And we'll remove this as well. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna have another section with an image. I like this guy here. And we will also have some product blocks here as well. This is a product block that you can configure as dynamic or as static. I'm gonna choose static. Static allows you to select the products that you want to showcase here, while dynamic can actually pull different products based on the customers. You can create different product fits, such as new arrivals for men or bestsellers, and then you can pull the information from there. We're going to stick with the static one for this master template. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna add some products. I only have 2 products here, so I'll just add those 2 that we have. Add products. Now you can see there is some products being populated here. Let's choose the configuration here. What do we want to show? We want to show title, we want it linked to a product, we want to show price, description, probably not, and we want to have a button. We will only have 2 items per row. You can have as many as you want. I only have 2. I feel like 3 looks better here, but we'll just stick with 2. We can have some paddings here, image height. There's an option to stack on mobile, but let's not do that just because it's gonna be stacked. We don't want that. Now, once again, we have to update all of the stylings here. The font would be Roboto. The color, same thing for the price. This looks good. Text alignment, letter spacing. So whatever you need to update here, go ahead. The button color definitely needs to be updated. No corners. We don't need a border. Let's add some letter spacing here and let's add some padding. Okay, perfect. So this is ready. We need to make sure that it looks good on mobile, and with this button size, it does not. So what we can do is we can do something similar to what we've done with those links in the header. We can only show the button on the desktop version of our email. There is no function like that, but we can actually do something slightly different. We're gonna clone this block, and we're gonna configure this block to only show on desktop and this block to only show on mobile without buy now buttons. Let's start with the desktop one. We will go to display options and we will only show it on desktop, and we're gonna keep the configuration as is. And then we are gonna go to the second one, display options mobile, and we are going to remove the buttons here. Ta-da! So now it looks good in both variations, which is perfect. Buttons, no buttons. And then also something I've just noticed is that the fonts here are smaller than it is in our product block. So what we're gonna do, we are actually going to take this down to 12 as well. Perfect. One last thing that we need to add is our social media links. You can find a blog here. We will drag it to our email and you will change the design. Depending on how you have it set up on your website, you can show them in the same way. So let's pretend mine are black. I don't have any on the website, but we will just gonna keep our social links black. Another thing that will really make your life easier in the future is if all of your icons here are linked. So make sure to add all of your links here before saving this block. And I'm going to show you how to save it in just a bit. Email is ready. What we will do now is create universal blocks so that we can work with all of the different sections that we have created in our future emails. First of all, we want to obviously save our header link. You will just click on this star and you will call this white header. Next will be your hero image section. So we're going to select the whole section instead of selecting just the image. You're going to take the whole section and we're going to again save this as a universal block and it will be hero image section. Once you create a universal block, you will see that hero image section that we saved as universal block can be edited across all instances or unlinked and edited independently. Why this is helpful is that after creating 50 emails for your flows, you realize that you've changed the link for new arrivals. And now you can actually go into a header block and just edit the new arrivals image across all of the instances. But if, for example, you just want to do something for this particular email, you can unlink and edit independently. So here I just unlinked it so that I can save our buttons. So this would be pink button block. This will be white button. I will also have dynamic product block, or sorry, static product block. And I can save this image. For example, I can add some padding to it so it looks a little different, a little more sophisticated. So then I can save it as a very special block. Save this as image with padding. I have all of those blocks saved now, and I will be able to use them for all of the campaigns and emails that I'm sending out later. This is a very, very simple way to create a good looking template. The more details you will add to it, the harder it will be to actually make it looking pretty. Keeping it simple and clean is actually the best way to start.